Right guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go through 5 tips on how to get better at yomping, rooking, tabbing, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to the long min today with 15 kilos, so nothing too heavy. But as I go round the course, I'm going to do about two and a half hours. I'm going to be talking you through 5 tips that help me get better at yomping. Let's go. First thing first, make sure we don't get lost. Let's put the address in. There could be a theme today because getting lost is my speciality. If any of you follow the podcast, you will know on our first navigation exercise in training, I got terribly lost and failed the exercise, which was not amazing. Okay, so it's an hour drive. I'm going to get set off now, and then when we get there, I'll intro you and talk through the route that I've got in mind. Let's go. Right, so we have arrived. I am parked currently on a slant, which is not ideal, but what I'm going to do now is program my watch. So this watch I haven't really used for this purpose before, but it essentially allows you to park your current location and save that current location so that later on, if I do get lost, which is highly likely, then I can just navigate back to my car, which is ideal. So I'm going to do that now, and in the meantime I'm going to get my bag all good to go. It's got 15 kilos in there, so nothing crazy today. We're just going to see how it feels on my back. I'm going to get my heart rate monitor on, all that sort of jazz, and then we're good to go. I'll pass over to the GoPro now, which I'm going to take with me, and then just update you on tips 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 about yomping as we go through. So I'll be on the move whilst giving you some tips, and then we'll round up the video back in the car. So, plan today is that there is no plan. I'm just going to go up and then down and then up and down again. But tip number 1 for yomping is to pack all of your kit, your heavy kit, at the top of your bag rather than the bottom. You pack it at the bottom of your bag, what will happen is it'll pull you down the hill. So you'll be off centre, so you'll be getting pulled back by the weight rather than the weight being on your shoulders and it being able to push you forwards. Certainly when you're running downhill, this makes a massive difference because it can again push you down that hill rather than holding you back. Okay, so number 2, tips for yomping. When you're going up a super steep hill like I am now, you can hear my breathing. I'm trying to keep my breathing relaxed, but I'm leaning into the hill, so my shoulders are over where my feet are striking. I'm leaning into that hill rather than leaning back and fighting against the hill. So trying to use my glutes, hamstrings, okay, big muscles to power me up this steep hill. So we're out here on our own, as you might have noticed. We're supposed to have someone with us, but they fell ill. However, not too mad about that. One of the benefits of yomping, now that I'm a civilian anyway, is the solitude it provides. Like, there is no one behind me, no one in front of me, no one around. I'm just here getting after it. So you're here with your own thoughts. It's one of the major benefits. So yes, it's good if you can bring a mate along, make it a little bit more interesting. If you can't, don't be deterred, just get after it anyway. Okay, so that's literally been uphill for the last about kilometre, so I've been stepping it out, marching. Time to go into a little bit of a double time now as we're approaching the top of this hill. Got that for a view. Okay, so just finished up another jogging slash shuffling section. I'm going to talk you through point number 3 about Yomping for today's video, about running with weight. So what we were always told in the military, trying to speed up with weight on your back, is to stride it out. That's the antithesis of actually what you want to be doing. So one of the biggest causes of shin splints is overstriding, which is when your stride exceeds where your center of mass is. So every stride when you're walking or running wants to be underneath your center of gravity, center of mass. To overstride puts extra pressure on your ankles, shins, knees, etc. Clearly when you've got added weight on your back, doing that further compounds the issue. So actually what you want to do is the opposite. You actually want to increase your cadence or increase your steps per minute when you're running with weight on your back to mitigate injury, but also so you're a little bit lighter on the ground and you can be that much more efficient moving across tricky terrain. So increase your cadence when you start to pick up the pace, like now. Okay, so we're getting some lovely scenes now. Try and show you, see how good the GoPro is at picking it up. There we go. Look at that. So as I walk back up this hill, I'll go through number 4. So number 4 is a pretty obvious one, but one that I think people overlook, is to start mega slow and progressively overload like you would with anything. So yes, I've gone 15 kilos today. Does that mean you should? Absolutely not. You should start with probably under 5 kilos, increase maybe to 7.5, then to 10 over the same kind of distances. That's how you're going to progress, rather than starting out with 20-25 kilos and realizing actually that you've got injured before you even started. Okay, number 5 then, final point about Yomping. At some point, if you come to the hills, you're going to have to descend those hills. My tip for you is to control that descent. So a lot of times you'll just want to send it because you think this is where I can make up time. It is, but just ensure you're not going straight down the hill, you're zigzagging for starters. And then the other thing is just to really watch your foot placement, because this is where you can make up time. However, it's also where you can turn your ankle and really lose time. So just think about that one. That's number 5. Bosh. Another point to note, if you're ever running with weight for any reason, or Yomping, is, I learned this when I was in the Marines, really, that through experience, the pain in your shoulders and the pain in your legs, etc., amounts and gets worse for the first hour, really. But after that first hour, it stays the same. It doesn't go anywhere, but it stays. So if you can handle the pain up to the first hour, you're good for however long you need. And that's something I really took with me in recruit training when I was doing hours and hours on the hills, because past that first hour, job done. So another tip that wasn't planned into the video, but just thought of it now whilst I'm out here, so I think I'll throw it in, is chunking. And I spoke about this in my London Marathon video, but I'll speak about it again, and it's certainly true when you're Yomping. So pick something in the distance that's not too far away, so it doesn't discourage you, but pick something like that pole in front of me. Okay, I'm going to get to that, then I'm going to set something else, then I'm going to get to that, then I'm going to set something else, I'm going to get to that. So that's how to kind of break up the march or walk or whatever it is you're on, even run. Get to that lamppost, set another goal. So chunking little small goals that you can look at and say, okay, I'm gonna get to that next one and then I'm gonna go again. So you don't look at the whole thing as a wanna, you look at it in tiny little chunks. Boom, there we go. I cannot express to you how hot it is in this car, so I'm gonna make this fucking short and sweet. So 5 miles, about an hour and 20 minutes, 332 meters of elevation. So decent innings. That backpack was probably about 20 kilos in the end, with all the safety stores in there, water, etc. Probably about 20 kilos. Again, if you're starting out and you're looking at me thinking, yeah, I'll go and do 15 kilos, 20 kilos for an hour and 20 minutes, wrong answer. I've got a decent base built, okay, of decent physical fitness for this exact thing already. So bear that in mind before you start. If you start with 5 kilos and build yourself up. Okay, hopefully those 5 things helped you understand a little bit how to implement Yomping into your training. I'll just disclaim this entire video at the end with the disclaimer of, I don't recommend, if you're joining the military, to go and Yomp with the express purpose of getting ready for the military, because what will happen is you'll start overloading yourself too soon. You'll start going too fast, too far, because you're trying to train for something. If you're just going out and putting a little bit of weight on your back for a little bit of a challenge, a little bit of a mental challenge, that's fine. But don't be doing it in an attempt to train for the military, because I don't believe you need to. Okay, I never did it. Many of my colleagues to this day have never done it. Okay, unless you're trying to train for special forces, and again, you've already got that base built of fitness, there's no point. What I will say is, if you are interested in trying to start Yomping for your training for the military, in my Military Athlete Academy, it's a subscription based ongoing program. By week 18, I believe we've built the necessary foundations in terms of aerobic capacity and leg strength to facilitate loaded marching. So week 18, we start that loaded marching phase and progression. But before then, we do nothing of the sort, because we're building a base. So if you're patient enough, okay, top link in the description will be my Military Athlete Academy. Go sign up, stick to it, okay? 18 weeks in, you will be Yomping, and you will be Yomping for some decent distance with some decent weight by the end of it. But that is all for this video, and I'll round up when I get home, because I'm fucking boiling. Hope you took something from that video then. So 5 things you should know about Yomping before you start. If you're going to start Yomping again, just please start slow and start small. If you need have any questions about it, or have any queries you want to ask before starting, then bang in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you enjoyed that video and you enjoyed anything about it, whether it's entertaining, educational, whatever it may be, please drop a like and subscribe below. I'll see you in the next video.